May 3rd. For most people, maybe just another day. But if you care about how we get our information, it's World Press Freedom Day.
Right.
And this year, well, with AI exploding onto the scene, it feels especially important.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking right at the 2025 theme. Reporting in the Brave New World, the impact of artificial intelligence on press freedom and the media.
It's a conversation that, frankly, we can't put off any longer. World Press Freedom Day itself goes back to '93, set up by the UN.
Based on the Windhoek Declaration, wasn't it? From '91.
Exactly. The idea was simple but profound. Celebrate press freedom, see how it's doing globally, defend media independence.
And crucially, remember journalists who've died doing their
A
jobs.
very solemn, important part of it, yes. Remembering those who pay the ultimate price for truth.
So here we are, decades on, grappling with AI. This technology is just fundamentally reshaping how news gets made, how it reaches us, maybe even how we understand it.
The scale is staggering.
Right. The speed AI processes information, automates tasks. I mean, think about identifying disinformation patterns. It can do that way faster than a human team sometimes.
Definitely. And for newsrooms, often stretched thin, facing budget cuts, that efficiency looks very attractive.
It makes sense.
And there are potential upsides for reporting itself. Think about AI translation tools.
Okay.
They could genuinely amplify voices from, say, marginalized communities, letting their stories reach a global audience. That's potentially transformative.
Okay, so real potential there.
Yeah.
But then you get to the other stuff, especially generative AI, the kind that makes text, images,
Video, audio.
Yeah. Suddenly it feels like, can we even trust what we see or hear anymore?
That's the core challenge, isn't it? Generative AI hits right at journalistic credibility. These deepfakes, video and audio, are getting so sophisticated.
Scary sophisticated.
Yeah, and it blurs that line between what's real and what's manufactured. The danger isn't just the fake itself, but the doubt it casts on everything.
Making people question even legitimate news.
Precisely. Which erodes public trust and makes informed decisions, especially around big events like elections, much, much harder.
And it's not only about deliberately fake content, is it? Because most of us get news through social media, through search engines.
And those are powered by AI algorithms.
Acting like invisible gatekeepers, deciding what pops up in our feeds.
Exactly. And these algorithms, they often prioritize engagement, clicks, shares, comments. That's the currency.
Over, like, accuracy or depth?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay.
Their business models often rely on keeping users interacting, which means sensational, emotionally charged content can get boosted, even if it's not the most reliable. Editorial judgment takes a backseat to engagement metrics.
And what does that do to smaller news outlets, independent media?
It marginalizes them. They're careful, maybe less viral reporting gets drowned out. It can lead to this kind of news homogenization.
Where only the loudest stuff breaks through.
Potentially, yes. And dissenting voices, where those crucial local narratives we mentioned earlier, they risk getting lost. It really impacts the diversity of the media landscape.
It's a huge concern for the health of, our whole information ecosystem.
Definitely.
Let's shift gears slightly to something maybe even more, chilling. AI used for surveillance.
Yes. This is a direct threat to press freedom. AI tools can monitor journalists' online activity, potentially intercept communications, build profiles.
Which puts their sources at risk. That confidentiality is sacred in journalism.
Absolutely essential. And it puts the journalists themselves in danger, too.
It's that chilling effect we hear about. Journalists might self-censor, avoid sensitive topics, or hesitate to protect sources if they fear being watched.
Exactly. The very tools that could potentially protect us are turned into instruments that can stifle free expression, whether by governments or even corporations.
And then there's the money side of things, the economics.
Also critical. AI models often scrape journalistic content, repurpose it.
Without paying for it.
Often without adequate compensation, yes. Quality reporting costs money, investigations, salaries, travel.
And this scraping just takes the value. It's been called digital colonialism, hasn't it?
That's the term some use, yeah. Big tech platforms benefit from the labor of journalists, particularly hitting legacy outlets and local newsrooms that are already struggling financially.
Undermining their very ability to survive.
It poses a fundamental threat to the sustainability of independent media. How do we fund original reporting in this new age?
Okay, but let's not paint it all as doom and gloom. AI does have positive potential too, right?
Oh, for sure. We're seeing AI-assisted fact-checking tools being developed.
Which seems vital right now with all the disinformation flying around, especially during elections.
Hugely important. AI's ability to crunch vast amounts of data quickly can spot patterns, inconsistencies, potential coordinated disinformation campaigns.
And for journalists doing investigations.
It can be incredibly powerful, analyzing complex data sets, uncovering corruption, digging into financial records. AI can be a potent tool for accountability journalism.
So it really comes down to how we manage it, how we use this tool.
Exactly. It's about the rules, the ethical frameworks we build around it.
Like the UN's proposed Global Digital Compact.
Precisely. That's an attempt to set some global ground rules, focusing on mitigating harms while protecting human rights, privacy, freedom of expression.
Because the tech itself isn't inherently good or bad.
It's how it's governed. The ethics depend on the frameworks we establish.
And we have to remember, even without AI, the situation for journalists globally is often precarious.
Terribly so. Organizations like Reporters Without Borders, the Committee to Protect Journalists, they document it constantly. Imprisonment, harassment, killings.
It's a dangerous profession in many parts of the world.
And now AI adds another layer. We're seeing AI-enabled censorship emerging.
How does that work?
Well, content might be removed or suppressed automatically, not by a person, but because an algorithm flags it based on certain biases or due to political pressure on the system.
So the AI can be manipulated for censorship.
Easily. Which shows how it can be used to control information flow and silence dissent, even if it seems neutral on the surface.
It just underscores the incredible bravery of journalists working everywhere, really, in conflict zones, under authoritarian regimes, even in highly polarized democracies.
War correspondents, investigative journalists, local reporters. They are often the bedrock of informed communities and democratic life.
And World Press Freedom Day, as you said, it's also about remembrance.
Yes, remembering the sacrifices. People who risked everything, including their lives, for the truth. We owe it to them to defend the right to report freely and safely. Journalism is a public trust.
So looking at 2025 and beyond, it really feels like a critical moment, an inflection point.
Absolutely. AI is evolving so fast. Our frameworks for media freedom, for ethics, for public responsibility, they need to evolve just as quickly.
It requires us to be vigilant, doesn't it? And innovative.
Vigilance, innovation, and solidarity among journalists, policymakers, tech companies, and the public.
We're in this strange paradox, more power than ever to spread information globally.
And yet this intense struggle for what's credible, who to trust, and the survival of independent journalism.
Looking ahead, maybe the path isn't seeing journalism as a victim of AI, but maybe as the moral compass we need to navigate it.
I like that framing. Journalism as the guide, not the casualty.
Yeah.
In this brave new world, those core principles, independence, ethics, truth-telling, are more vital than ever.
So as you've been listening to our deep dive today, here's something to chew on. In this age of AI, how do we, all of us, ensure that press freedom doesn't just survive, but actually leads the way? What's your part in supporting ethical, independent journalism? Definitely some food for thought.